back to the podcast. I'm here with my brother and my dad.
Woohoo!
All right.
Good job, Melody.
Good job,
Ann.
Mel.
That's the co-star of the show. She will be back later in the episode.
Till then, we got a big empty chair.
That's right.
So.
But it's summer break, so we're all together filming this episode. We've got a lot to cover. So, Riker, give us the rundown here. What are we going to do?
So we're going to start off with our devotion. It is titled 1 Minute Sports Devotions for Young Baseball Players. Then, after that, we are going to read about a player that we're talking about in the devotion.
Yep.
Then, I think we'll do current MLB.
Yeah, a little quick run around the league.
Okay, and then we'll do our ballparks talk. And we'll wrap it up with a new segment. You'll find out what that is when we get there.
All right. Good tease.
So,
We'll start us off with our devotion this week.
So 1 minute devotions for young baseball players. Anyway. Our verse is praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy has he given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. 1 Peter 1:3. Hope keeps you going. It's what helps you get out of bed. Stay motivated and believe the future is worth showing up for. The thing is, where you put your hope can make or break you. Tyler Holton knows what it's like to have his hope tested. In 2022, the lefty relief pitcher made his MLB debut with the Arizona Diamondbacks. After only 10 games, he was cut from the roster. Instead of mentally checking out, Holton stayed ready for another opportunity. In early 2023, the Detroit Tigers picked him up, and he ran with it. Holton broke out as one of the most reliable arms in Detroit's bullpen, often called in during tight spots or shut down rallies to protect leads. That season, he posted an impressive 2.11 ERA, leaning on his trusty four-seam fastball and deceptive changeup. Through 2025, he's continued contributing to a Tigers team that has been a leading contender in the playoff race. So, what keeps Holton level-headed through the ups and downs? It's not just confidence and training. Holton has said, Jesus' death and resurrection gives us an eternal hope. For me, hope helps me get a level head and not allow life's valleys to get too low or the mountains to get too high. That's not how most people think. A lot of us unknowingly put our hope in something else, like a plan going just right, but when that plan falls apart or just doesn't happen on schedule, it can feel like the rug got pulled from underneath us. That's why we need something better. That's where Jesus comes in. Jesus' death and resurrection wasn't just a comeback. It was a victory over sin and everything broken in his world. That win is already locked in. Because of what he did for us, anyone who puts their faith in him is promised eternal life in heaven. And with that kind of hope, life's challenges don't have to steal your peace. So that's the devotion, and then at the end of these, we don't always read them, but we have dugout reflections, and I will read that today. We all put our hope in something, even if we don't always realize it. Maybe for you, it's a baseball scholarship or a relationship you care about. Just remember, those things can change, but Jesus doesn't. So, I liked that dugout devotion.
Very good. We're going to read a little bit about Tyler Holton. He is still playing for the Tigers. Born June 13th, 1996. Approaching his 30th birthday coming up here pretty soon. And born in Tallahassee, Florida. Stayed there, ended up going to college there at Florida State University, one of the great baseball universities in in America.
For sure.
Played there. He was drafted originally by the Marlins in the 35th round of the 2017 draft, but he did not sign with them. He returned to Florida State in 2018, where he tore his ligament in his elbow that required Tommy John surgery. So a significant injury there. So he had to fight through that. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks selected Holton in the 9th round of the 2018 MLB draft. Made his professional debut in 2019 with the low A club of the Diamondbacks. Did well there, had to battle through the COVID season, the lost season there that affected a lot of guys in the minors. Continued to work his way up. And then on April 28th, 2022, the Diamondbacks selected Holton and promoted him to the majors for the first time. He made his major league debut that night, tossing a scoreless inning of relief against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Dang.
He made 10 appearances for Arizona in his rookie campaign, logging a 3.00 ERA with 6 strikeouts and 9 innings pitched. On February 15th of 2023, he was designated for assignment by the Diamondbacks once they signed Andrew Chaffin. On February 17th, 2023, Holton was claimed off of waivers by the Tigers. And then he started in their minor league system. And then 2024, he filled multiple roles for the Tigers, from opener to middle relief to occasional closer. And then, again, he went into middle relief as an occasional opener in 2025. He posted a 6-5 record with a 3.66 ERA. On January 6, 2026, the Tigers and Holton agreed on a 1-year, $1.575 million contract avoiding arbitration. So he's pitching with the Tigers. He's got a career win-loss record of 16-13, 2.78 ERA, 241 career strikeouts. He is a lefty. What is his number? I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure what it is, honestly. Oh, there it is. I thought it was number 87. Yeah, number 87. Where's number 87?
All right.
Tyler Holton. So that's him. Had to the point of that devotion and even reading his story is just, again, having to fight through some adversity, but not putting his trust or his hope in his baseball
Abilities.
career. Yeah, I mean, because those things, no matter what our talent is, no matter what those things can go. And so our hope, as the verse said, our hope is in Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
So he's a good example of that and persevering. So he was a good example of that, of perseverance and putting his hope in Jesus.
For sure.
Okay. All right. We're going to get into some current events. Just a quick little jog around the league and see some standings.
We got to talk about the Cubs real quick.
Got to talk about the Cubs, who have lost. I didn't see if they lost last night, so let me update my standings here and just see. They lost 10 in a row heading into last night's game. They're getting ready to head to St. Louis. Cards open a series with them over the weekend here. So when this airs on Sunday, we'd be wrapping that series up. That's why we have, over my shoulder, we have two greatest of both franchises, Stan Musial and Ernie Banks, as the Cubs and Cards play for the first time this year. Cubs did win last night, so the streak is over, which is probably good. I didn't want them heading into St. Louis with a 11-game losing streak. And then
they lose, and then they win
get on a
us.
run against us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are actually tied with them right now, 4.5 back of Milwaukee. Cards just came off, as we're recording this, a tough series against Milwaukee. Got swept.
Poor Dustin May.
Had a great game going in the final game. Dustin May into the 8th inning with a no going. He was
getting the ESPN alert, no hitter alert.
Yeah, he was cruising, man. It looked good. but they were only up 1-0. Had left way too many guys on base, and it came back to bite him in the 8th. He had a hit that he gave up that shouldn't have been a. It just maybe was a little bit of a bad route in left field, but it turned into a double.
Torres, yeah.
Yeah, and then anyway, it just kind of snowballed from there and ended up losing 2-1. So tough series, and now they got to regroup and head into the series here tied with the Cubs. First meeting with them this year. So they're both 4.5 back. Reds 5, Pirates 5.5. So everybody's still real close, still right there. Everybody's still above 500. So doing good there. In the East, you've got the Braves still rolling, 8 up on the Phillies. Phillies are a couple games above 500. Washington is a game over right now. And then you got the Marlins and the Mets. In the West, you've got the Dodgers, who've pulled away a little bit of breathing room since we last recorded, but they're 4.5 up on the Diamondbacks and the Padres, who are tied at 4.5 back, kind of like the Cards and Cubs. In the American League, the Rays, Yankees have gained some ground. They're only a game and a half back. Then you've got Toronto, Baltimore, and Boston. In the Central, you've got Cleveland still playing well. The White Sox, which is crazy, they're a game above 500 still, 3.5 back. You got the Twins, the Tigers, and the Royals there. And then in the West, the Mariners have now taken over the lead in the division at a game under 500. They're 28-29, but they're half a game up on the A's, 2 games up on the Rangers, who have been scuffling a little bit. Got no hit this week. Rangers did a combined no-hitter against the Astros, which really hurts. They did rebound the next day and scored 8 runs in the first inning. It was like they got some payback there, but did get no hit. And then you got the Astros and the Angels bringing up the rear there. So that's kind of a quick look around the division here. We're wrapping up when this episode is airing. It's the last day of May.
True.
So we're 2 months in, really at the point where you're starting to see it was good again. That's why that Cardinal series against the Brewers was a little bit of a, okay, these young guys are playing well, but they're maybe not ready for that yet. And so they got a little bit of more growth to do there. But yeah, you're getting to the point now where we see kind of who the teams are going to be. You start to kind of figure that out. So,
True.
And then you're, a month away from the trade deadline. So
yeah, well, we're already there.
We are there. All right, so that's kind of a look around the league. We're going to do something different for our player of the week this week. We're not going to do the one MLB did. We're going to be a little bit homerish, but it's an amazing story. And so we're gonna highlight our player of the week this week, and he is going to be who, Riker? He's going to be Brian Torres.
I know his last name was Torres. I couldn't remember his first name.
Brian Torres. And so we're going to read a little bit about Brian. We're going to show you a video about him. But he made this past week, he made his MLB debut after 11 years in the minors. And so just an incredible story. Another story, kind of like Tyler's that we read about in the devotion, just someone that didn't just all kind of fall into his lap. He had to work at it, some setbacks, keeps pushing. And he's been playing well in the time that he's been up. We'll see when guys get healthy what happens there. But he's doing everything he can to show that he belongs in the big leagues after 11 years in the minors. And he had great stats in the minors as well. So Brian Torres, born July 2nd, 1997, Puerto Rican professional baseball player. Plays, I think his natural position is second. He is playing outfield for the Cardinals. He wasn't left on the he's done well, but again, I just think more experience out there. He may have taken a better route and cut that one off. But he bats left, throws right, and he made his major league debut May 23rd, 2026 for the Cards on the road in Cincinnati. We're going to show that here in a second. Just want to read a little bit about his career because he actually was initially signed by the Brewers back in 2015 as an international free agent, and worked, spent time there in their minor league system, playing A-ball, rookie ball. In 2019, the Giants selected him in the Rule 5 draft. He didn't play in 2020 due to the cancellation. So when the COVID happened, the whole minor league season was canceled. So it was just a totally lost season for those guys. And then in 2021, he made 43 appearances for Double-A Richmond, batted .280 there. He elected free agency following the season of 2021. In 2022, he signed with the Milwaukee Milkmen of the American Association of Professional Baseball. Made 93 appearances for the team, batting .374. Returned to Milwaukee in 2023, batted .370. And then on September 21st, 2023, Torres signed a minor league contract with the St. Louis Cardinals organization. He made 121 appearances for Double-A Springfield, hit .331, 2 home runs, 56 RBIs, and 33 stolen bases. Made 105 appearances for the Triple-A Redbirds last year. He batted .328, 9 home runs, 51 RBIs, 26 stolen bases. On November 6th, the Cardinals added him to their 40-man roster, preventing him from reaching minor league free agency, which could have been a bummer for him a little bit because now he might feel trapped. But they optioned him to AAA Memphis to begin the season. And while he was down there earlier this year, he's batting .336, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. And then on May 22nd, Nathan Church got hurt, and they called up Torres for his first major league appearance. And so we're going to show that highlight here of him hitting his first he had his first hit in that game, and then
he hits a homer.
Then he hits
in
a
his
homer.
debut game, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, in his first game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I watched it.
We did watch it, and so we've seen this already, but we're going to go ahead and watch it again so that you guys can enjoy the moment. But
it was his family.
So here, actually, his first at bat, he got a walk.
Okay, yeah.
And so we'll speed by this, but he's coming there. So his family is there. And Riker, I'm showing it to you, but you can see it there. He is. He gets the walk, and then that's his first hit right there.
This was a heck of a game for.
And you can see his family, his mom, his brothers. Great hit there. Exciting that they don't show it here in this highlight. His third at bat, he hit one to the wall, and then this one, he goes yard, and the family's going nuts. And it was just an awesome reaction. Comes in, gets the big dog chain, and gets interviewed afterwards. Just talked about that he was living a dream, and again, just an incredible story to go through 11 years
of minors.
Of just battling. And he talks about the fact that, there was just a few years ago that he wanted to give up. His mom encouraged him to keep pushing, because that's a long time. And it's not like he was having some success as far as his average was good, and he kept getting, the call happens and somebody else is getting called up, and you just kind of keep getting overlooked. It'd be easy to give up, but he kept battling, and now, no matter what happens, he's a major leaguer, and nobody can take that away from him. And he's got a major league hit. He's got a major league home run.
He has stats.
Yeah, and he's played well since then. Again, he's played a couple of games since that first game. Yesterday in the game against the Brewers, our one run was he had a triple that knocked in Jordan Walker. And so he's playing well. And so, again, I don't know what's going to happen when guys come back up. But we just wanted to highlight him because a lot of times we do talk about the big guys here, the major leaguers. But these guys, the all-stars and the big names that we always hear about. But these are the really cool stories of someone that's grinding for that long. And so we want to celebrate him today. Brian Torres, our player of the week. Congratulations.
Not said by MLB, but he deserves it.
He deserves it. So Brian Torres, hats off to you, player of the week.
Before we move on to ballparks, I want to kind of circle back to our league talk. Yeah. Who thought that the White Sox were going to be
Nobody saw that
ahead of the
coming.
Mariners?
Well, they have about the same. I mean, their records are pretty similar. I mean, their White Sox are one game over 500. Mariners are one under. So it's not like this. But it's just the fact that the White Sox are even. We were talking about them. Nobody saw that coming.
No.
Because it's just been so bad for so long. So good for them. Hopefully they can keep it going. So
That would be good.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our stadium talk.
Stadium. This book is called Ballparks, Baseball Stadiums, Home to America's National Pastime. All right. Today we're talking about good old Coors Field for the Colorado Rockies. Its MLB debut season was in 1995. The first Rockies home run was hit by Dante Bichette. Yep. It can
That's
hold.
Bobichette's dad. For you that do not know that, yeah.
I didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Then its capacity is 46,897. Its surface is grass and it has a open roof. Pitchers have come to embrace the one era of Coors Field where it's always pleasant, 70 degrees. The humidor. Hurleys can thank the boots of Tony Cowell for the nerve-calming ERA-saving space. We all know why Denver is called the Mile High City, and we've learned what thin air in high altitude does or doesn't do to a flying baseball. It's hitter's heaven, a pitcher's pain. It took just 3 innings before the first home run sailed out of Coors Field after it opened in 1995. The Dingers didn't stop. One season, teams combined to average 15 runs a game. There, while knocking 303 four-baggers in 81 games. Ordinary hitters became Ruthian while pitchers ducked for cover. Enter Cowell, a Rockies engineer, who happened to notice the effect that Denver's low humidity had on his leather hunting boots, which had become tight and dry. If the air had affected his boots, he thought, imagine what it must do to baseballs. Pitchers at Coors also complained of balls that were cold and difficult to grip. With this in mind, Major League Baseball's first humidor was installed in 2002. Am I saying that right? Humidor? Okay, got it.
You are.
Okay. In 2002 at Coors Field, the climate-controlled shed with 50% humidity can store 576 baseballs and is considered a Colorado-bound pitcher's best friend. An expansion team that began play in 1993, the Colorado Rockies played their first 2 seasons at Mile High Stadium, which they shared with the NFL's Broncos. The Rockies' attendance was mind-boggling, nearly 4.5 million came out that first season. As a result, planners of Coors Field expanded seating by more than 6,000 before it opened, giving the ballpark room for more than 50,000 fans. Coors opened on April 26, 1995, in the city's historic downtown Lodo neighborhood, which is filled with 19th century brick structures. The ballpark fit right in. Its facade is comprised of both terracotta tile and exposed to steel and red brick. The stadium is topped by a classic clock tower, but it also bears amenities typical of the modern era, including more than 4,500 club-level seats, 63 luxury suites, and a restaurant and brewery, a children's play area, and batting cages. Wow. Seats along the first baseline offer spectacular views of Rocky Mountains. Water fountains beyond the outfield fence erupt after home runs. The Rock Pile, a set of 2,300 bleacher seats, is perched above the center field backdrop. And to remind everyone of the thin air, a row of purple seats extends around the upper deck to mark the exact point at which the park is 1 mile above sea level. In their first year at Coors, the Rockies qualified for the playoffs for the first time in 2007. 5 years after the humidor began softening baseballs, the Rockies battled to the World Series. Since then, they've reached the wild card twice, but failed to win a single game in their division series in 2018. And that's it for Coors Stadium. So.
Coors Field, and it's one of those stadiums. We haven't seen that one yet. Maybe we'll have to add that one to the list this year.
For sure.
We'll have to see, but one of those stadiums that, again, they did come into the league in '93, same year as the Marlins, and had that year in 2007 where they got to the World Series. But it has the issue for them early on was pitching, just because the ball
was cold.
No, because of the mile high. Because being up at that altitude, it's like if you watch a football game there, guys can kick long field goals there because the balls just travel higher because of you're up in the altitude up in the mountains. And so balls flew. Guys like Dante Bichette was there in those early days, Andres Galarraga, Larry Walker. They had some big hitters, and they just all put up crazy, crazy numbers because the ball did fly out of there. And then they introduced the humidor, and that kind of leveled it. They were able to get some pitching. Mike Hampton went there. And then they had Matt Holliday before he came to the Cardinals, and he was with them when they made that run to the World Series in '07. And they've had a lot of great players and had some success there, but has been a little bit of a challenge the last few years. Again, they're in the division with the Dodgers, so it's pretty tough. They just came off a series with the Dodgers. But yeah, that's Coors Field. Beautiful ballpark, and hope to check it out. So, all right. I think we've covered everything. We're going to do one last thing, a new segment that we're going to do for at least 10 episodes, maybe not in a row, but we're going to work it out over the next 10 years. We thought it would be fun since you were born in 2014.
Yep.
To try to catch you up and anybody that may be Riker's age that maybe didn't know some things that happened in the last decade or so, until through 24. So we're gonna just start in 2014 and work our way through those years and just say here's basically a summary of what happened in 2014 and then through those years in MLB. And so we'll start this year, the year we were born, and we'll talk through that. I'm going to read a little bit about it, and
I will learn. You
will learn, and you will ask questions. And so,
okay, got it.
In 2014, the season started in Australia that year. The first games played there between the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. It was back one of those first times when baseball was trying to do some games worldwide and get the game exposed that way. Let me just read a little bit about what happened that year. The MVPs that year, Mike Trout won his first AL MVP at 22 years old, and he'd already finished runner-up a couple times. This was when Mike Trout was
at his prime.
Well, just storming into the league. And again, this was his first of 3 MVPs. Had an incredible year that year. Played in 157 games, which is what's key for Mike Trout. If he's healthy, he's going to put up numbers. But it's just since those years, it's just been staying healthy. But he batted .287, 36 home runs, 111 RBIs, 115 runs scored, 173 hits, at a 7.7 WAR, and won the AL MVP. that year and helped the Angels. They had the best record in baseball that year, and went to the playoffs for the first and only appearance of his career so far that he's been a part of, and they got swept by the Royals that year, and so he was the AL MVP. Had a great year. That year, I mean, obviously Albert was with them that year because he had left the Cards after 2011, so he was there. So you had Albert Pujols and Mike Trout, and some other good players. I mean, they were a really good team, but got swept by the Royals, who we'll read about here in a second, who were hot. The NL MVP that year was one of those unusual years where Clayton Kershaw, the pitcher, got the MVP and the Cy Young Award, and he was 21-3 that year with a 1.77 ERA.
He is a stud.
He was a stud and helped the Dodgers win the West, and had a great year there, before they ran into another hot team in the Giants in the playoffs. Some rookies, the rookies of the year that year, Jose Abreu for the White Sox that year, and then a guy we're familiar with around here made his rookie debut that year for the Mets, Jacob deGrom was the National League Rookie of the Year. The best teams in baseball, the Angels had the best record. The Orioles won the East. Let me pull that up. Yeah, Orioles won the East. The Tigers won the Central, and the Royals got in as a wild card. And the Angels won the West, and the A's got in as a wild card. And then in the National League, you had the Nationals, who had the best record in the National League that year. Cardinals won the Central with the Pirates as the wild card. The Dodgers won the West with the Giants as the wild card. And this was 2014, which you go back a little bit further. So in that kind of time, those early 2010s, it was, especially in the National League, it was either the Cardinals or the Giants. And so in 2010, the Giants won the World Series against the Rangers. 2011, the Cardinals, and these times they're both playing. 2011, the Cardinals beat the Rangers again in the World Series. 2012, the Cardinals and the Giants played each other in the NLCS, and the Cardinals had a 3-1 lead in that NLCS, and the Giants came back and beat them. And then 2013, they played again in the NLCS. Cardinals won. Actually, no, they didn't play. Cardinals played in the NLCS. The Giants did not. But the Cardinals went to the World Series. So they were kind of alternating World Series. And then, so the Giants had won in 10, and they'd won in 12, and now you're back on this 14, and they got hot again. And so you ended up again with the Giants and the Cardinals in the NLCS. And you were born on October the 12th, and I've told you this before, but there was a game.
Yeah.
That was a game that was happening. So while Mom was in labor, I had the Giants and the Cardinals game on in the delivery room, and the Cards did win that game on the 12th. That was a Sunday. You were born Sunday morning. I say in the delivery room. It was on Saturday night. She was in labor, and then you were born Sunday morning, and then they won Sunday night of that on the 12th. So they lost the game leading into your being born, but they won that first night. It was a Colton Wong walk-off hit, and then the Giants did win the next three. They won the series on a walk-off home run by Travis Ishikawa, and then they went on to the World Series. And the story of that whole playoff run, and then what happened in the World Series, the hero of that was Madison Bumgarner. And he was the pitcher for the Giants. And he, let me pull up his numbers for that postseason, because he is the one so they played the Royals in that World Series. And again, we'll get into 2015 somewhere down the road, but the Royals bounced back and won that World Series. But in 2014, it was a big deal that the Royals had even made it because they hadn't been good in quite a while. They were a young team. Salvador Perez was a youngster at that time. And so they made it to the World Series and had an unbelievable 7-game series with the Giants. But Madison Bumgarner was the MVP of that World Series, and he was the stud there. He had 52.2 postseason innings with a 1.03 ERA. He had a complete game shutout in Game 5 of the World Series, and then he came back on short rest, which is where he became a legend, and had 5 scoreless relief innings in Game 7. And the Giants won Game 7 3-2 and captured their 3rd championship in 5 years, and he was named the World Series MVP. And so you had in the regular season, Mike Trout, Clayton Kershaw, MVPs, and then in the postseason, that was the Madison Bumgarner postseason for sure. And the Giants got that one. They won that. And then just some other things about the year. The All-Star game that year, the 85th All-Star game was held at Target Field in Minnesota, home of the Twins. The American League beat the National League 5-3, and that was during the time when they don't do this anymore, but during that time, that was kind of the Bud Selig rule where whoever won, if American League won the All-Star game, then they got home field advantage in the World Series.
Oh.
So Game 7, when Madison Bumgarner pitched, that was in Kansas City because of the All-Star game. Some people hated it, some people loved it, but that's what happened. And that was also the last year of Bud Selig as commissioner of baseball. Selig had served as the executive chairman from 92 to 98, acting as the commissioner, and then was appointed as the official commissioner in 1998. On August 14th, 2014, the franchise owner selected Rob Manfred to become the new commissioner starting in 2015, and Manfred is still the commissioner to this day. And so just a couple things that happened in 2014. Again, it was a fun year for the Cards. They had been in the ALC and in the NLCS for 4 straight years at that point, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Every time the NLCS, they had to go through St. Louis. But the Giants did on 2 occasions, and it was a good little rivalry back and forth. And that was kind of the last year of that between those 2 guys. So Giants were the champs. Trout, Kershaw, MVPs. Any questions about 2014?
No, not at all.
Was that educational for you?
Very much so. Very much so.
We're gonna do it again. I think it's fun because there's some things that just to try to get you up to date on the last decade before you really started to dial into baseball.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we've covered that. Covered the ballparks. Anything else you can think of?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, we had let's get Mel over here. Mel, want to come over and close us out?
You've heard her probably in some parts of this pod, but come on, Mel. Come back on.
Here she comes.
She's having hat issues.
Come on, baby.
Come on. I'll help you with the hat.
All right, hop on the seat. You can wrap us up with some cuteness. Give us what do you think this episode's been, good or bad? What do you think?
Okay.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up? Okay.
All
right. Just tell everybody, thanks for watching. Have a good day. We'll see you next time. You got it?
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. We will see you on the next podcast. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.